got it up from earlier, so I'm guessing it'll probably just populate, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if you still get it open, it should populate pretty soon.
Yeah.
Just maybe refresh it, maybe. Does it show up okay?
I'm not over there. I see you.
Yeah, I figured I would stream on this because the quality will be better for you than
Yeah.
Discord.
Tough.
I can stream this at 1440p. Black shirt, black glasses, looking snazzy. Snazzy? Snazzy? How old are you?
Snazzy. I don't know.
Looking snazzy. So
The
far,
car looks good right there with the trees in the background.
yeah, it does. Oh, I noticed that the paint you'll see on the car in the stream, it'll be the wrong paint because I didn't download the paint pack and run it. Do that though.
Oh, for their paint pack, you mean?
Yeah. Screw it, doesn't matter.
Yeah. The wheel looks cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. Quite like it. The screen is bigger than my other one, and the lights are higher, so you feel more immersive because it kind of covers the bottom of the screen, whereas the other one just kind of came about here. So this is a bit taller.
Copy.
And I like that. I don't think I want to run baseline. Let's go get the setup. Right. Yeah, you can tell it's got the old paint.
Your exit looks clear. Stay behind the line.
First on the track?
Yep. Yep. This corner coming up here is the one I have the problem with. Because you can't see the apex through the pillar.
Yeah, it's all a feel thing, right? Just about any car you have, it's that way.
Yeah.
You kind of need to go almost around that bump too.
Yeah, it's just really difficult to be consistent.
Yeah. Getting chilly back home? Getting chilly up there now, I guess?
It's been warm the last couple of days. And by warm, I mean like, 4, 5, 6. Today was 8 degrees Celsius. So 0 is your 32.
Yeah.
Always gets loose on that left-hander. So he's gonna screw up my lap.
I remember early in the GTE car, if you didn't get loose there, then it didn't allow you to get down this back straightaway.
Car left.
Stay on the right.
Clear left.
Clear on the left.
You were in Chandler battling for third. I thought when you were just kind of hanging behind him in that race, I thought he was always going to let you go there. I didn't realize that was for a race.
Is that?
You in Dickinson's race there?
Yeah. What about it?
I didn't realize you guys were racing for third.
Yeah. Whoever finished ahead got third in the championship. That was so frustrating because my fuel calculator was completely wrong on my dash.
Yeah, I heard you talking about it.
And I confirmed it later. Because there's actually it turns out, I didn't realize this at the time, but there's on the in-game dash, it tells you what your fuel per lap is. And one time during my stream, it said I was doing 1.72, and I was like, it didn't feel like it should have been that high. And on the in-game dash, it gave 1.51, which is more what it should have been. So yeah. So I was over-saving from the very beginning. Which meant I could push really hard at the end, because I was over 2.3 seconds behind Sean at one point.
That lap time was 2:05.77.
Trying to debate if I go to first or second in these tight corners. So I'm trying both techniques.
Okay, Martin, you need to watch these track limits.
That corner, it's going to be the death of me. Hey, Chode? Sorry if I got that wrong. I think the Asher is probably the best wheel if you don't want a dash. Like a screen on the dash. And I think they're making a version now that's wireless. which they've made wireless ones before, but this is the F64, which previously they couldn't make wireless, but now they've just made it wireless. So it's the same one I have, but a wireless one. If I, oops, clearly I can't talk and drive at the same time.
The leader has just done a 204.69.
But you don't really need a dash, to be honest, because you can put the same information I have in my dash here on the screen in front of you as an overlay. I would say the grips are very good on the Asher. The shifters are very good, not as good as the ones on this wheel. Yeah, I must admit I do prefer the wider diameter of this wheel over the Asher. But honestly, you do get used to it. But when I switch back and forth between the two wheels, I always prefer this one because it's just that wider. And with the narrow one, it's not as smooth a feeling. But a lot of obviously very top drivers use that wheel. It's very, very good. And honestly, you just kind of get used to the feeling of it. Too early of an apex there.
That puts you 1.1 seconds off the leader's pace.
For races, this is where I would spot.
What's that?
For the NASCAR races, up here is where I would spot. I'll tell you right here in a second.
Oh, I didn't realize NASCAR ran Dakota.
Sector 1 time's okay.
Yeah. You pick them up right here.
Yep.
Just past the bridge and go all through this. That's where our spotter stand is right there on the right there. Then in the rain, you couldn't see nothing here. It's crazy. Especially because they're running away from me, and that's where the cars would look inside, so you have no clue what type of
Oh, yeah. Was there another spotter up here on the right?
Yeah, so then I would take them all the way to this bridge right here. Take them right here to this bridge.
Sector 2 is 0.40 off the pace.
Well, you know how you were saying, asking me if anybody had any software that would tell you what setup changes to make, like you guys use in NASCAR? So when I was at my car club where we did the fireside chat with the FAF Porsche guys, you know, are good mates of mine for since they were kids. I asked the lead engineer on the car, I said, do you have that software? And he said, kind of, but it's not really very good. And he said the Corvette team uses software like that, and they use it like a gospel. But it was telling him to run -1 camber all year long. and they were nowhere. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, Penske was the first one to use it years ago in NASCAR when Ryan Newman was driving with him. You know, because from the IndyCar stuff, the IndyCar stuff was dialed up. So if you remember back in those days, Newman would get all the poles all the time, but their race setup sucked. Because the computer was just raw speed. You
Yep.
didn't account for tire wear and sag and heat and whatnot.
Gotcha. You bought the GSI 50 mil spacer. VSR hub adapter. Yeah, I have. It's exactly what I have on mine. Oops. There's braking zone there somewhere, Martin.
0.48 off the pace. You've gone outside of track limits there.
Braking zone didn't change. You just passed a little bit.
What's that?
So the braking zone didn't change. You just passed it a little bit.
Okay, Jim. It's enough out of you. Yeah. I also like that so I can move my monitor in front of my wheel hub. That's the reason why I use those spacers. Because then I can have the monitor lower, which means it's more immersive for me. And for those watching the stream, the guy who I'm chatting to in here on Discord is
Sector 1 time
our
is good.
team boss, and he used to be a spotter in NASCAR for Kurt Busch. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And they've been good friends all their life. So he knows a lot about NASCAR if you want to ask him questions. If you feel like answering questions.
Yeah.
The leader's just done a 204.26. Sector 2 is 0.6 off the pace.
Damn it.
Mind these track limits.
Yeah,
please,
I know,
Martin.
Jim. Shut up. Mind the gap, please. I gotta stop that early apexing.
P2. There's a faster class car approaching. Car left. Clear left.
Clear on the left.
The race space is going to be okay, buddy.
It'll be in the ballpark. I mean, this isn't about an all-out pace. I think it's just about staying out of trouble in this race. Not crashing. I mean, obviously pace is important, don't get me wrong, but...
That last lap was a 2:05.67.
Read that in a second. After I get to the back straight.
Sector 1 is 0.44 off the pace.
Line through that right there.
Thanks. Do I know how many button boxes with a dual clutch? When I get out of the car, I'll show you and we can take a look.
Okay, Martin, there's a faster car approaching. You're now 1.2. Left's a clear left. Clear. Sector 1 is 0.34 off the pace.
You talked to Simo since the merger?
Since when?
Since the merger?
Simo didn't
Sector
race
2
for
is
5-star for quite a while.
0.27 off the pace.
Oh, he didn't? Oh.
He went to Pablo's team, the streamer.
That's right. That's right.
The PGZ team.
Yep.
Which is in this race, by the way.
Yep.
I don't think Simo's racing it, but Pablo is. Oops.
He's not afraid to wreck people.
No. Probably their best guy is Gorvand, or I forget his name. Starts with the G.
Sector 3 is 0.34 off the pace.
Gorvand, I think his name is. Car's a little too pushy through there.
Sector 1 is 0.35 off the pace.
I'm gonna go put the other set on.
Sector
Bigger
2
rim
is
with dual
0.38
clutches.
off the pace.
I mean, the GSI has a big rim. I'm just not a fan of their grips, but it's a pretty big rim, and you can get one without a screen if you're looking for one without a screen, and a lot of people love them. And they're coming out with a new one called the Hyper X, but it does have a screen, that one, so it's probably not what you're looking for.
What's your speed limit in the pits? Box in 370 meters.
Pit box in 10.
Oh, gotta get used to that.
5,
100
3,
meters.
2, 1.
50 meters.
Right here. We're done. Get going.
All right, let's go put the other set on. Oop, wrong. My setups.
All clear. Push now. Box in 5,400 meters.
So this is the one that's a bit looser.
Flip through your black box and there's a tire wear there.
Hold on.
When you get a chance here.
There we go. Yeah, I was killing the front left. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, just shoving it.
Yeah. That was after 12 laps. Like this one here will be a little harder to handle, but I suspect it might be the smarter choice as the track rubbers up. This is the one corner where this setup is a bit dicey, but you can manage it, you just gotta be disciplined.
Yeah. Roll off a little smoother.
Yeah, you just can't mat the throttle after that second apex as much. But I think as the track grips up, that won't be a problem. This corner here is where you see the advantage of this setup. That right-hander.
Yeah, rolls through those S's.
You're a 10th off the pace in sector 1.
But I'm no faster with it, as you can see.
You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 2. Good lap, that's your best in the session. There's a faster car approaching. You're currently 0.32 off the pace. Left side. Clear left.
Clear on the left.
Yeah, that Hyper-S is expensive. I mean, we don't know what the price will be yet, but it's going to be. I'm sure it'll be a good wheel, though. But honestly, the Asher, I think, is the best overall value. The other one to consider, if they go back and make it, is the grid one without a screen. They used to make one, it was like a Ferrari replica one, but it's forever out of stock. But I think they're making a new one that's going to not have a screen.
You're now 0.9 off the pace. Sector 3 is 0.38 off the pace. Okay, Martin, there's a faster class car approaching. Sector 1 is 0.6 off the pace.
Car on your left.
Car left. Clear left.
Clear on the left.
Sector
car,
2 is
Martin?
2/10 off the
What's that?
pace.
Is this full fuel?
This lap won't count. You've got
Yeah,
the
this
track.
is full. I started with 106. This thing's becoming a handful now.
But look at your hands, doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, it's just subtle slides, and it's very catchable. It's just...
He's going to get through laps, what, 3 through 5, 3 through 6 are the tough ones, then it kind of comes back.
I would say it starts coming back around lap 10. Oops, missed the apex there. Oh no, I didn't. Hey, Morat. The 911R RSR is awesome, man. Definitely my favorite wheel. I mean, it is pricey, but I really like it. You've got one on order too? That's awesome, man.
Sector 2 is 0.43 off the pace.
I've been lucky enough to try a lot of wheels, and definitely the GSR is my favorite. I mean, the RSR. Driving and talking is not my strength. Yeah, this is not the setup, I'm afraid. I'm gonna go try the one in the middle now.
Look out for the pit speed limit. Box in 370 meters.
Pit box in 10. 5.
100
3,
meters.
2. 1.
50 meters.
Right here. Okay, go.
So, I don't know if you're still there, Chode, but you were asking how many buttons are on this? Is that what you were asking? Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 buttons, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rotaries and 2 funky switches. And it's got dual clutches. That's the Asher. So you can see the diameter is, it's equal on the left. There's a good centimeter difference on the right there. Maybe you can see that or not. I don't know if there's enough light in the room, but the grips on the Asher are really good. The grips on here are good. Both are similar level of grip. Okay, let's put the third setup on. This one's kind of in between the two.
The pit exit is clear. Push now. The pit exit's clear.
Car stops on the
Yellow
right.
flag, watch out. There's a faster car approaching.
Didn't do a very good T1.
Sector 1 is 0.41 off the pace. Car left. Clear left.
Yeah, the
You're on
wait's
left.
hard, isn't it, Murat? Yeah, I waited, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months for mine, something like that.
The track temp's increasing. It's now 30 Celsius.
The track temps are a little hotter than before.
0.42 off the leader's pace.
Oh, you have the GSI, I
You've
gotcha.
just done a
Yeah.
204.68.
Yeah, I had 2 GSIs. I didn't keep them very long, just because the grips didn't suit me, but they suit a lot of people, so clearly it's a me problem.
With that first setup that you went out on, I think it's just going to burn too much tire, Martin.
Yeah, when
Sector 1
Chris
is
drove that
1.6
same set
off the
today,
pace.
it didn't for him. And when I
Just look
when,
lazy through the S's.
and when I drove that same set earlier today in that session, it was better than this session. I only had about a 2% delta between the front and the rears, but this was a 4% delta for some reason.
Yeah, it looked really lazy through the S's to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk across the street and go meet my boy.
All right, man. Thanks for hanging out with me.
How many more laps you going to do? We get on time pretty soon, right?
I don't know. Oof. Probably not. Maybe another 10, 15. I'm not going to do a full tank. I think pace-wise, all 3 sets are similar. It's just a feel difference.
Okay, Martin, you need to watch
I
the
think
track limits.
maybe this one I'm driving now is maybe the right compromise. It's not as safe as the first one I ran, not as
just done a 205.41.
loose as the last one I ran. I don't know. We'll see what Chris and Lawrence think.
Okay.
I'm fine with any of them, to be honest.
Yeah, whatever we do, Lawrence burns more front tires than anybody, so we got to take.
Oh, does he?
That's going to be 5% of the. Yeah, he's kind of drives like Sean, really deep in the corners, and then turn the wheel really hard instead of letting the wheel turn itself. You know.
Yeah.
So, not that it's a huge difference, but you know, it's 5% of the equation.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Thank you for doing that. Thanks for letting me watch.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you.
Cheers. Hey, the Chode, I'm going to put on the other wheel in case you wanted to see that. Not going to remap all the buttons though. I'll just remap what I need. The basics. Just doing the shifters, that's it.
Track's clear. Push, push, push. All clear on pit exit.
So what you'll notice with this lighter wheel is it okay? You have the Asher. What I find the biggest difference between the Asher and the grid is obviously the wheel diameter, but what you may not anticipate is there's a massive weight difference. Like it's over 1.5 pounds difference between the two. So you get a lot more fidelity of force feedback from this than you do from the grid. And the grid is like 1 centimeter wider, but it's also a lot heavier. Now, having said that, you can obviously turn down the force feedback a little bit. Which I haven't done in this case, but you can.
All right, Martin. There's a faster class car approaching.
But that doesn't completely change. Like there's also inertia to think about. And with the inertia of the heavier wheel, it doesn't respond as quickly. So it's not just the force feedback countering the weight, it's the inertia of the wheel. And so it tends to keep going, whereas this, it's just, you feel more of the feedback basically in this one. So pros and cons. But I would be very happy to have just this wheel too. It's a really, really good wheel.
Sector 1 is 0.48 off the pace. Car behind's a faster class.
There's one area where the grid is way better than the Asher, and that is, well, not way better, is better, is the shifters. And it's not that the shifters aren't precise enough on the Asher, but
Clear left.
You're on the left.
there's more wiggle, and they make a noise. Whereas the grid one, they don't have the slop.
Sector 2 is
And the Asher doesn't have a lot of slop, but it's there.
Track limits, this lap will be deleted.
And the other thing is the grid one has like a felt pad under them, so that dampens the sound when you make shifts. And I've put something similar on this one to quiet it down, so you can do effectively the same to quieten them down. If that stuff matters to you. The third wheel I have, if you guys are interested, is the Racing IVRA. It's also a very good wheel. But I don't need 3 wheels, so I'm going to sell it. Not because it's not as good as these, but because I've had it the longest, and when I got the grid, I figured I need to get rid of one of my wheels, so. But the interesting thing about the IVRA, it's kind of like the marriage of some of the properties between the Asher and
The guy behind has just done a
the grid.
204.80.
And what I mean by that is Racing IVRA. R-E-X-I-N-G. Yeah, IVRA. But because it's a carbon fiber frame, it's actually lighter than the Asher. And the grips are, I think, actually the best on the Racing. And by best, I mean the most comfortable. They're all comfortable, though. It's just, I think, really long endurance. Probably the Racing's going to be a more comfortable one. But again, we're talking a couple of percent here. We're not talking massively different.
Okay, Martin,
you'd be happy
car
with the
exits in
comfort of
pits,
all of
heads
them.
up.
IVRA shifters are good. They're quiet.
Your lap time
More
was
quiet than the Asher. Not quite as
205.74.
quiet as the grid, but very quiet. Very precise. Like the grid, they don't have any slop. The one thing I didn't like was the clutches. I felt the clutches were too hard to pull, and they didn't have enough travel, so it was really hard to be accurate with the clutch. If you know what I mean. It was too easy to let the clutch out too fast, in other words. That's what I found. The Asher probably has the best clutches of the 3 for that.
0.5 off the pace.
I find it easiest to not let the clutch out too fast. Grid kills PSE. What's PSE? I feel like I should know that, but my brain is not working at full capacity while I'm driving. Oh, yeah, precision engineering, yeah. I held one of those in my hand. They're okay, but it wasn't like, wow, this is great. I think the grid is far better. And far cheaper than the PSE wheel. I don't know if I agree that it looks like a toy, but
Sector 3 is 0.48 off the pace.
but I think I know what you mean. The grid looks all of the business. And clearly Porsche thought so too. Otherwise they wouldn't have given them the ability to put the branding on it. I was lucky I bought my grid before they had done the deal with Porsche. Oops. It's not good. Though my price was a little cheaper than the current pricing. Yeah, grid is very heavy duty. For sure. You're gonna love it. They could do one thing a little better with the grips. And I'll put it back on and I'll try and explain what I mean. And these are like, I'm like nitpicky.
Mind these track limits, please, Martin.
Come into the pits here.
Watch your speed. Engage limiter. Box in 370 meters.
Pit box in 10.
In this league, you have to stay in the right lane before you get to your pit spot. You can only go in
100
when it's
meters.
50 meters.
1.
50 meters.
Right here. Go, go, go!
Alright, so let me put the other wheel back on. I'll tell you what I mean by those grips. So what I'm talking about is here, at the end of this grip, I can twist this more than I think we should be able to. Like it's fine up here, but I think this moves too much. I can twist it. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Can you see that? Probably not. Sorry. But basically the end of this twists a little bit. It's like the rubber is too thick, too much rubber, and whatever it's mounted on, the frame, I think it needs to be wider or bigger in some way. And what I notice is, it shouldn't be a problem because I only notice it when I'm gripping the wheel too hard, so it's really not a problem. But I noticed that little bit of play versus, let me get the Rexing wheel and I'll show you. So the Rexing wheel, can you see this? Yeah. So there's like zero flex here because whatever this rubber is mounted on is much bigger in size than whatever this is mounted on. So it doesn't turn at all. And the reason why these are a bit more comfortable is because they're a bit wider here than there. And the edge here on the grid is a little more pronounced, so it goes up and then in really sharply, whereas this is like a continuously rounded thing, and so it just doesn't put a pressure point on your thumb, and that's the big thing. But you know, much lighter than this, like massively. But the screen is smaller by, I would say, 5%, but you notice it. And then the rotaries on this, there's not much resistance versus here. There's a fair amount of resistance.
Go, go, go!
So I think this is better. button-wise, these buttons feel better. So the buttons and rotaries are definitely better on the grid than here. The shifter, there's a bit of play, versus there's no play on this, and it's just really quiet. It's a nice thud as opposed to a click. You can hear this, versus this you can't hear at all. So, but these clutches here, when you pull them in, you can see this. There's not a lot of distance play, and there's a lot of they're quite hard to pull in. Versus on the Asher, which I think is the better one, there's much more distance, and they're softer. So I find it easier to gradually release the clutch versus on this one, on the Racing. It's harder to release the clutch. I mean, obviously you let that go and you're using this one, but it's just harder to let this go in a nice even way, and then you end up, you know, popping the clutch basically, which is annoying. So each wheel has their own pros and cons. You know, all in, my favorite is the grid. But the Asher is right there. The Racing, if you want to dash, the Racing is better than the Asher. If you don't want to dash, the Asher is better than the Racing, if that makes sense. Hopefully that helps. Better put this pin back in, right? Where I turn the wheel. Yeah, you're actually correct. This is a Vocor screen, which I think is better blacks. Yeah, I have a Grid DDU5, but not the current generation, the older one, and it was a USB 480, whatever. This is the best screen I've got, the Vocor. The quality of the image is the best. The one on the Racing is a USB 480. Yep. Let me remap my shifters here. And is that the yeah, I don't know much about the screen technology itself. I just can experience both, and that's what I prefer. All right, let's go back and change to the very first setup. Let's see what that's like now.
Pit exit looks clear. Box in 5,400 meters. Pit exit's clear.
So, you know, I was saying earlier about the grid has more mass, more weight to it, so you don't feel as much. And that sounds like a bad thing, but in a way, for iRacing, because of the way the iRacing is a bit granular to begin with, it smooths it out, and somehow I actually prefer the feel of it. It doesn't feel as, feels more like a real car, a little smoother. So, in a way, the extra weight kind of helped it. Does that make sense? I don't know if you have a Simucube wheelbase or not, but on the wheelbase, they've got dampening on there. And it's kind of what the heavier weight does. It kind of simulates that dampening effect. It's not exactly the same, but similar. The other thing I like is these handles here are curved. So in these tighter corners, it just feels more natural. The Racing is very straight, and the Asher is kind of halfway between the two. So, anyway, everything has its pros and cons. Everybody has their own likes and dislikes, but for me, the grid is, the sum of the parts is the best. Oh yeah, those Hiltons are good. I had the SimTag version of that. And honestly, the hydraulic feel is nice and all, but I think I prefer the VRS pedals that I'm currently using. I find it easier to find the limit of the brake more consistently with the VRS pedals than I did with the Tiltons, the SimTags. I agree, they're more expensive than the ones you've got, and for no extra value. VRS is my favorite pedal so far, and I've tried the HEs, I've tried the SimTags, I've tried the Acetex. I really did not like the Acetex. I haven't tried the Simtrex. They look interesting. I almost tried them, but ended up not pulling the trigger on them. I've tried the Sprints and the HE Ultimates. My two favorite pedals out of all those pedals are the HE Ultimates and the VRS. And for the longest time, I kept going back to the HE Ultimates. The only pedal that made me change away from the HE Ultimates on a permanent basis are these VRS pedals. And it's mainly because of the one thing where I find it easier to know when I've reached that max braking, like 80% braking. I find it easier to know where that is from feel with the VRS than any other pedal. VRS is better.
Limits, please, Martin.
HE Ultimates are a very good pedal. Don't get me wrong, like you won't be dissatisfied with them, but if you're asking me which ones are better, the VRS is better. And they're cheaper. Yeah, exactly. Totally agree. Yeah, I've got a pre-order on those Simicube pedals through a local distributor here in Canada. We'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, don't know until I try it, but it looks interesting enough. I like the novel idea, and I commend them for doing something different. I was too busy looking at chat. Drove right off the road. Yeah, so I exited Simo? What? I don't understand. Yeah, Sim Coaches is I'm aware of Sim Coaches. I haven't used them, so I can't comment on them. Hey Vincent, how you doing, man? Congrats on the championship, by the way. No, we're this is the IVRA series, IVRA series, which I think you guys were in the prequel for. Anyway, like you, we didn't make it in from the prequel, but we just got let in this week. And we had selected the Mercedes. Stupidly. I hate this car. Yeah, you're welcome, Vincent. Well deserved, man. truly outstanding season for you. Yeah, so we're in the Merc because that's what we selected for the prequel, and because we didn't initially get in the series, we were 13th on the list, I think, at the time, after the prequel, 13th on the reserve list, so we never bothered to change our car.
Just done a 204.02.
Hey Simo, how you doing, man? I didn't notice that was you that typed the Simucube comment about the pedals earlier. Simo's a mate of mine in Australia. Super fast guy. He uses the VRS pedals right now. He's the one that convinced me to try them, actually. He races on Pablo's team, the PGZ team. Hey Simo, are you doing this IVRA race? I know your team is, but are you doing it?
P3.
I'll tell you, Vincent, I'm driving the Porsche for so long. This car, this Mercedes, does not feel good to me at all. Like the driving technique is so different.
Track limits, this lap will be deleted.
The biggest disadvantage this car has compared to the Porsche is under braking. I was in a practice session earlier today, and I was getting out-braked by these Porsches consistently. No, you're not doing the race, Simo? That's too bad. Yeah, you won't be disappointed in the VRS. And for sure, run the harder spring, the red spring. And if you want to contact me, I'll tell you what I have my settings at. I should probably actually concentrate and put a lap in instead of just doing laps.
Look out for the pit speed limit. Box in 370 meters.
Yeah, I agree, Vincent.
Box in 10,
They're really good.
5.
I would be shocked
100
if
meters. The track temperature's decreasing. It's now 28 Celsius.
I would be shocked
50
if I
meters.
actually
Go, go,
prefer
go!
the Simucubes over the VRS, but I want to try them. Yeah, but even with that 45k bop Simo, they were outbreaking me. Like, it's insanely better. It's stupid. Like, this car is just not good enough. And then we all know the tire wear on the Porsche is just way better. So it's not even a fair fight, even with 45 pounds.
Pit exit is clear. Don't cross the line.
That's a black flag. Forgot to put the pit limiter on.
There's traffic on the exit. Keep it tight.
I think this setup's too tight though. That right-hander there is what's killing that front left tire. Yeah, Vincent, see you next season. And great schooling on how to do fuel saving, man. That was amazing. Although my fuel dash was wrong. And I was over saving during the race, unfortunately. But anyway, congrats, man. That was awesome. All right, we'll see you next season. So what are you up to, Simo? Alright, I'm gonna go do a hot lap in all 3 setups and see which one's best. All with full fuel, 106 liters, but I want to see which one's quicker.
E4.
Bored. Yeah. Well, you come to Canada and shovel some snow if you want. Ah.
Okay, Martin, you need to watch the track limits.
Yeah, I know, Jim. I screwed that up. That's why I hate this car. And this is the stable setup. Alright, let's try the more aggressive one. Because that's what you do after you almost spin, right? Try the more aggressive one.
Your exit's clear. Watch the white line.
Got any big races coming up, Simo? RC or Sim?
10th off the pace in sector 1.
What are you at now, Simo? You gotta be 8K somewhere, right? I don't know how you can prepare for Daytona because the new build's gonna change everything. New physics model for the tires, new weight, and new everything.
Track limits.
Back. Damn it.
P2.
Well, I think the looser setup is going to be the better one. Especially as the track rubber's up. Have you heard about all the changes, Simo, that they're making? Nice, man. I haven't been working on my iRating for months. Still at 5.6. I did one official race last week at Rudskogen and qualified second, and then went to last on the first lap. All my fault. So, yeah, that was good. In the end, I actually gained 1 IR. I got back up to 6, whatever it was. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just kind of over the whole IR thing. What did I want to do? Oh yeah. So have you seen that video, Simo, on all the changes they're making
Retake 6 clear. Push.
for the next season? The tire model is going to be radically different. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the phrasing they used was a more defined limit, and that could be really good or really bad. If it means that you have grip and then all of a sudden you don't, very defined, that's going to be bad. If defined means it progressively loses grip, then that'll be good. But I somehow think when they use the word defined, they probably meant the former, not the latter, but hopefully I'm wrong on that. And what they mean is defined will be that you'll be able to sense it more, as opposed to it'll just go. But I will see. Yeah. What do you think about the increased tire wear, where it'll be hard to finish a stint on some tracks? Forget about double stinting, anything, anywhere. It's going to bring some new strategies into play, where people might take 2 tires or 3 tires, maybe. There's an apex back there, Martin. It's just annoying. I hate when I screw that up.
Pit exit looks clear. The track temperature is increasing. It's now 30 Celsius.
Track keeps getting hotter and hotter. I did the earlier practice session and my lap times were quicker in the earlier one. The track temperature was cooler. Mind you, in the earlier one I did a longer run. I think I did 17 laps or whatever. And it was on my 17th lap that I set the faster lap, so maybe it's just a fuel difference. So summertime for you, Simo? Yeah, I think you're right, Simo. I think they're gonna screw it up. All right, man. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Good to hear from you.
Alright, Martin, we need to watch these track limits.
Yeah, I know.
No, you're good. That was my fault.
What? No idea what he said. Not the efficient line. Oh, really, really wide.
Watch your speed limit in the pits. Box in 370 meters.
Pit box in 10, 5,
100 meters.
2, 1.
50 meters.
Right here. Go, go, go!
Well, I think that's it for me. I've kind of had enough. Not driving that well anymore anyway. Kind of been on the rig for a couple hours, so thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it.